A Michigan school board member under fire over racially charged tweets. Kesha Hamilton from the Jackson County Board tweeting this: "Whiteness is so evil. It manipulates, then says, I won't apologize for my dishonesty and trauma, including practices and thinks you should applaud it for being honest about its ability to manipulate and be dishonest." Meanwhile, parents from the school district responding. Listen.
These posts were made to incite and divide with no explanation of her supposed intention.
The board has an affirmative duty to call out Kesha for her stunningly unprofessional behavior right here, right now, tonight.
Joining us now with reaction is managing editor of Michigan Capitol Confidential, James David Dickson. James, thanks for being here. Kesha also tweeted that the last thing you have to worry about is an animal, though that could be a very real threat. More dangerous are any whites you might see on the trail. She tweeted that. Whites calling white people stupid, evil. What do you make of this kind of rhetoric?
Well, first of all, good morning. Thank you for having me. It's unfortunate to have this kind of talk, especially in an education setting. A school district, a school building needs to be a house for all people. And it's tough to see how someone could see these remarks and really continue to feel welcome.
I mean, James, is it not racist?
I don't know about racist. I mean, clearly Kesha Hamilton is going through some things. Clearly she has some issues to work through. What I would tell her and tell any woke person is, who do you love? Right? We've seen her write plenty about who she doesn't like and who she's afraid of. But who do you love? Who are you there to represent? Could you talk more about those people? Because those people need better from you, Ms. Hamilton.
Well, Ms. Hamilton gave us a statement when we asked Fox News Digital, and here's what she said. She said, "Whiteness defined as white racial identity, which refers to the way that white people, their customs, culture, and beliefs operate as the standard by which all other groups are compared." If you're obsessing over race and then calling people names because of their race, is that not, by definition, racism? And why is there a double standard here?
I think my bigger problem is if you're one of those kids in Jackson who sees this, right? One of the black kids in Jackson, there's about 30% black kids in that district. If every moment you spend talking about whiteness, you're not talking about winning. You're not talking about opportunity. I think about 50 years ago in 1971, the Klan blew up 10 buses that were meant to bring integration to the Pontiac School District. Blew them up. 50 years later, we're talking about mean tweets. So we've come a long way, and that's actually a good thing.
It's a really important point. We have come a long way, and we seem to be getting in our own way by continuing to obsess over our differences instead of what makes us human beings. James David Dickson, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You got it.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.